Well, Mithat Rende is a former chairman of the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, which aims to boost international trade and investments. Our senior business producer, Mobin Nasir, caught up with him on the sidelines of the TRT World Forum and began by asking him if the era of globalisation is over.
Globalization is under threat, definitely, and rules-based international liberal order has been challenged by their founders. And under President Trump, now rules-based multilateralism has been replaced by unilateralism, by protectionism, trade wars, and nationalism. So one can say that globalization is under threat, and probably a new order is in the making.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Look, relations between Ankara and Washington appear to be dicey, albeit historic and strong. At the same time, China is emerging as a huge market, as you mentioned. Russia is becoming very relevant as a source of energy. It's a difficult balance, isn't it, between relations with the emerging powers and the powers that be?
You're right. It's a challenge. It's a challenge for Turkey, but we should keep in mind that Turkey should never try to present its relations with the Russian Federation and rising power China as an alternative to its deep-rooted and quite old relations with Europe and beyond. Our foreign trade, almost 50% of our foreign trade is with Europe, and we have a customs union, and the accession process continues. So we should always consider our efforts to improve trade with Africa and bilateral relations with Africa and beyond, and with China, as a complementary effort. And we should also keep telling our European friends and other allies that when they look at Turkey and try to assess the situation, they should not look take a short-term look. They should take a long view of history. And try to see the dynamism of Turkey and the resilience of the Turkish economy.
Now, on the trade issue, of course, Europe is by far the biggest trade partner for Turkey, but the European economies are not growing fast enough to be able to propel exports for Turkey. Turkey being such a young country, it needs really those markets that are growing in Africa, in the Middle East, in the Far East. What is the challenge for Ankara to open up these markets for Turkish businesses?
First of all, yes, I agree. I agree with you that there's this. I mean, the trend in Europe is now is not good, and there's this slowing momentum. We should be quite careful here to maintain multidimensional foreign policy and multidimensional trade policy, and try to encourage investment from all over the world in Turkey, and greenfield investments. We don't need only hot money. What we need is a sustainable investment.